Well guys, the top stock of the year, the most talked about stock, one of the largest gaining big board stocks, certainly the most hyped up stock, and for good reason, is Nvidia. And guys, what has the CEO of Nvidia, Chris Jensen, been cooking?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what we got here is the world's largest graphics card.
Now guys, Nvidia, as most of you are aware, reported their earnings after the bell today, and not surprisingly perhaps is the fact that they had really good earnings.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
But what was a little bit more surprising is that the stock did not really do much at all after hours, with the stock remaining mostly flat. Now, I want to get into the reasons why the stock is flat, why it didn't react so well when most people thought that, you know, if they had a really good quarter, if they beat earnings, which they did, that the stock was going to react really well after hours. So I want to break down the reasons for that, show you the chart so we can better understand what exactly took place with this stock and what it could look like tomorrow. I also want to talk about how I personally go about investing in Nvidia with a little bit less of the risk, so stick around for that. And what's up guys, welcome back to the Stock Sales channel, and I have a small problem guys.
Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
And that problem is that even though this channel is doing amazing, the views have been going crazy recently, and that's really awesome to see. The problem is that most people who watch my videos aren't subscribed to my channel. And guys, please consider, if you're new to the channel, hitting that subscribe button, because I cover the latest breaking news in the stock market. I break down the charts, I take you into the news, and I cover these things as they happen so you can better understand and be better informed to make decisions in your portfolios. So guys, please hit that subscribe button and hit the thumbs up. But without any further ado guys, let's get into this Nvidia stock today. And guys, so let's get into the news here, where the headline is a really good one. Nvidia nearly doubles revenue on strong AI demand. This was released right after the earnings came out, and it basically says that Nvidia beat in third quarter earnings for sales and earnings while delivering a better than expected forecast for the current quarter. Revenue continues to surge in Nvidia, rising 94% on an annual basis. And it talks about how Microsoft and these other huge companies like OpenAI, probably the biggest name in AI, you know, ChatGPT, have started receiving the next generation AI chip called Blackwell. So that's really exciting for the company. But let's scroll down a little bit more here, where it says, yeah, shares fell 2% in extended trading, but here are the expectations guys. 81 cents per share adjusted versus 75 cents expected, so a nice beat there. Revenue 35 billion versus 33 billion expected, another beat there. So they beat on revenue and they beat on earnings. So you think that the stock would go up, you think that the market would react positively to this, but I'm going to explain why the market reacted negatively. And this is funny guys, in this article, the fourth quarter forecast implies year-to growth of about 70% from a year earlier, which is a slowdown from 265% annual growth. So a 70% gain year over year. Any company, like if you bought Walmart, if you bought Amazon, a 70% gain year over year would be amazing. It would probably send the stock into a frenzy with like a massive gain. But on a stock like Nvidia, where every single quarter, if I can pull it up here, yeah, every single quarter they just beat and beat and beat. But what happens is on this stock is like every quarter it starts to get less impressive and less impressive because, oh, they only increased the revenue 70% this year, guys, instead of 265%. So that's just like how ridiculous the market can be. And it goes on to talk about how it's a continuous slowdown from the last three quarters when it was 122%, 262%, and 265%, and the revenue rose at 94%. So what other company, guys, is there out there that's rising at 94% year over year? I mean, that's just crazy that a stock is not like super high after hours, despite having a huge beat and with their sales having just a huge boost year over year. But, you know, everyone expects such massive growth from Nvidia, you know, with it being the most valuable company in the world. And that's not the only reason, guys. The other reason is that there are so many traders in this stock. So many people buy the stock just for the earnings, and, you know, they get scared, they get nervous when they don't see the stock rising after hours. You know, it should be up a lot, but it wasn't. So that caused some, you know, people to panic, to sell off some of their shares. And the other reason, like I said, is that the traders are in the options. They're trading the options. So that has a lot to do with it. And it's just the volume is not normal traders. It's not the people who are in the stock buying and holding because they believe in the future. There are so many players right now getting in and out of the stock, you know, trying to make a quick buck on the earnings. So that's why the stock just doesn't behave normal on earnings. A lot of times you'll see this where some really wacky things happen where, you know, maybe they didn't beat the earnings, but the stock went up a lot. You know, that happens a lot with these big boards. And it's really dependent a lot on the future growth, on the future projections that the company gives, which, you know, this is a super positive report, and they have really impressive customers with OpenAI, Microsoft, Oracle, and 13,000 samples of the chip have been shipped to customers. It's really cool, you know, when you have the hot product and these huge companies, you know, that you surpassed by market cap are now, you know, vying for your chip. They're not saying that, you know, the chips business is their main source of income. They obviously have the gaming graphics cards, which accounted for billions of dollars. They had automotive sales, which is self-driving car chips. I mean, there are so many things that this company is involved in, and that's why it's such an attractive stock for people to buy and own for the future, because, well, the AI chip is obviously here to stay. But, you know, the traders on the options, they're trying to make a quick buck. Like I said, we can take a look at the options volume here and just look right here, guys, at how much volume was traded on these options. This one, the $150 strikes, had 128,000 contracts traded at an average price of $455 per contract. That's huge. I mean, billions of dollars in volume traded on these contracts overall, on the calls and puts. And that just shows you guys that these are not the average traders. These are gamblers looking to speculate, to make some money on the stock. You know, they're going to be very disappointed when this stock opens today and it's not up huge. You know, this is what happens, guys. This is why playing options is so risky, and it's gambling, because, you know, you're paying huge premiums for these contracts, for these option contracts. And what happens is sometimes these stocks just don't do anything either way. You know, you have a lot of people playing calls and puts to try to make money. If it has a huge run up or it has a huge dump, they'll make money either way. This is really one of the worst case scenarios that can happen for the options gamblers, because their premium tomorrow, which is like how much money per contract that they paid extra, what's going to happen tomorrow is that the IV is going to disappear and the options are going to become worthless unless this stock has a really big move tomorrow in the morning. So that's going to be interesting to watch. But this is definitely such a solid stock, and so many people are surprised that this didn't do well after hours. I think on a beat like this, you know, everyone's just they expect Nvidia to beat. The stock has just seen so much growth that, you know, it's never good enough with this stock. Everyone's waiting for it to slow down and fall back to a level, to previous levels, because the stock has made such a massive increase, but it's just not happening, guys. And the AI chip is here to stay. A lot of people thought that that was a fad. So this is a really good company for the long term, guys. They always beat their earnings. So that's really awesome to see if you're a long-term investor of Nvidia. And guys, I said that I was going to discuss the way that I invest in Nvidia, you know, without taking such a huge risk, because, you know, the stock is up such an amazing percentage-wise over the last couple of years. So the way that I like to play it is I like to buy ETFs. I like to buy baskets of securities where, you know, in these ETFs, like here's the S&P 500, the second top holding is Nvidia. almost 7% of the fund is Nvidia. So you're getting like really nice exposure to the stock without taking a huge risk. You know, you're getting the huge gain, but if it goes down a little bit, you're not really feeling it because you're lumped in there with 500 other stocks. Another one that I really like is SCHG, Schwab Growth, where Nvidia is the top holding. It makes up almost 11% of the basket of securities. So, you know, you're getting a really nice exposure with a mitigation of some of the risk. And if for some reason Nvidia does badly, you know, for one of the quarters, you don't get absolutely slammed by holding the stock. Like, imagine if this stock had bad earnings, how much it would have fallen. Everyone's so expected on this stock to have just good earnings all the time. What if they had bad earnings? That would have been crazy to see. The stock probably would have tumbled, even though the stock, you know, it's still doing so much better than most other companies. But, you know, that's just hypothetical, guys, something funny to think about. But let me know, guys, in the comments, is Nvidia in your top holdings? How do you play it, guys? Are you an investor from before? Have you been playing this for a while? Were you a guy like me who I was a kid when this stock was like $5-10 when I was building my computer? I should have bought some then, guys. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? But let me know in the comments, guys, how do you play Nvidia? Are you an ETF holder like I am? Let me know, guys, and keep it right here to the Stock Sells channel where I cover the latest breaking news on the stock market, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.